What's something you're currently deeply insecure about?
Oh, damn, okay.
Oh my god.
Oh, great.
What am I insecure about, Chloe?
Would you consider yourself tech trash?
Sometimes.
What do you mean by tech trash?
No, I'm not like that.
How would you describe to an outsider what the dating scene is like in tech?
Oh, okay.
Wait, what is that saying?
Hey yo, it's Chloe, and today I'm bringing some of my good friends who work in all kinds of jobs in tech and asking them some deep questions to see where they are and how they feel about their career life. So here we go. Can you introduce yourself?
Okay.
My name is Tiffany. I am a product marketing manager for payments at Facebook.
My name is Charlene Zen. I'm a director of client success.
My name is Matt. Currently, I'm a contractor at Google as a creative technologist.
I am a product analyst at Uber.
My name is Alice, and I'm a senior software engineer at LinkedIn.
My name is John. I'm an engineering manager at Riot Games.
My name's Alaric. I work at a startup called Confluent.
Hi, my name is Bernie. I am currently a software engineer for an Edtech company.
What are you not so happy about your job or industry? What would you like to see changed?
More diversity.
More diversity.
Diversity is pretty high up on that list.
Not just like ethnicity, but also background or upbringing.
There are a lot of Asians who come in at entry-level positions at our company, but then you look up at the leadership and sometimes that representation isn't there.
A lot of the design problems we see today stem from people who build the products not mirroring those who use it.
There needs to be a deeper look into how social media affects polarization.
Maintaining an ethical outlook towards everything that's built and asking less, can we build it? And more often, should we build it?
What are you most proud of accomplishing in your career?
I have built a really solid team of ambitious, smart, competent people and who I really enjoy working with and managing.
Build the first cross-device, cross-firmware automation framework for all of Amazon devices. Somewhere within whatever million files out there, there's a little author that says John Lee.
What's something you're currently deeply insecure about?
Honestly, imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome.
I definitely have major imposter syndrome.
Thinking that like I really don't know anything and I'm gonna be exposed and it's gonna come out in some big meeting and they're gonna be like, damn, Matt, like that dude's a clown.
My age, I always feel like I have to wait my turn. I have to wait to be legit enough to say something.
So I have this direction of life that I feel like I would like to go on. I also have this duty to my family. I'm taking care of my parents right now, and so I don't see a world in which sort of just given the amount of available hours in a day, how can I do both at the same time? And I don't know that I have an answer for balancing that as I get older.
My mental state in college, I went through a pretty low point in which I suffered dysthymia, which is like chronic depression. I'm just trying to be mindful of how I spend my energy and time with respect to work and play and sleep and trying to maximize my health.
I feel insecure in my inability to take risks.
If your current job became obsolete tomorrow, what would you do instead?
Ooh, well, tomorrow I'd probably be very hungover.
I'd be a therapist.
Middle school science teacher.
So I'm currently selling stickers on Etsy.
I've been doing Ironman triathlons and ultra trail running for a long time. I think that's what I would probably do, take a year off to be like, all right, cool. I got bamboozled. So let's just completely disconnect and focus on something that, makes me happy.
Start an internal research lab at my house, making ice cream.
Find a way to get my own cooking TV show or something.
Has anyone ever treated you poorly or unfairly at work?
Oh my god, yeah. Who hasn't?
I mean, I feel like there's always some level of unconscious bias when you're a minority in an industry, from things like assuming whether you're technical or not, or attributing your success to, others, or being a diversity hire.
People have certain stereotypes that they believe about Asian Americans and sort of their ability and propensity to lead.
Thinking about how you got to where you are today, is there someone or something you're most grateful for?
I think my last boss at my last job, so I was debating whether or not I wanted to keep working or just quit my job and travel the world. And at the end of it, he pulled me aside in our one-on-one and he was like, you need to either start working harder and stop spending all your time looking at blogs. about traveling or you need to quit and go travel. And I was like, this is a fair point, and then I quit.
Yes. When I was straight out of college and worrying about whether or not I would get a job, I took a 2.5-hour flight. There was this Texan next to me, this man who essentially told me to believe in myself the entire flight when I was just worrying out loud about whether or not anyone would hire me and wondering what skills I had. And he drew upon his faith, his experience raising 4 kids with his beautiful wife, and just his life experiences as someone who was further along in the game to give me confidence and reassure me that everything was going to be okay. So to that man, I'm forever grateful.
What's the hardest thing you've ever experienced in your career?
When I was laid off from a job 6 months after graduating,
Was realizing that sometimes you need to advertise yourself in order to get recognized. In the workplace, if you don't speak up, sometimes you don't get the credit you deserve.
So I graduated from school and I had a full-time engineering position as a front-end developer, and then I left that to find more like creative pursuits, and I became an intern at an ad agency. Starting from the bottom again and working my way up was definitely hard, especially coming out of you come out of like school, and honestly your graduating class, like everyone expects a lot.
When I was at McKinsey, I was flying around, Monday through Thursday every week. I lived this frenzied life where I'd take meetings, early in the morning, late at night, at all hours of the day. And this went on for 2 straight years, to the point where 2 years in, I thought, well, I'm learning, but at what cost, right? Like I don't even sleep in my own bed most nights. I was tired. I was so tired.
A year and a half ago, my boss left and I made a play to take over her job. I was just an IC and she was a director, and I asked to be director, and I was basically told, you have to earn it, you have to prove yourself. And so I was grinding for a good year to get there.
What's the best thing you've ever done for yourself for your career?
Realizing that I was in a career situation that I felt wasn't helping me grow.
I stopped comparing myself to others, to my peers in a progress sort of way, and I solely focused on my own progress.
Would you consider yourself tech trash?
Let me tell you, my first job at Uber, I started from the freaking bottom. Our office lunch literally gave the entire office food poisoning, and they still worked with the same caterer. I'm not gonna complain about work from home stipend if the lunch isn't amazing. If it doesn't make me sick, I'm okay.
Especially when I'm waiting for the shuttle to arrive. I think sometimes I look at myself, I look at my badge, and I'm like, man, you really are tech trash. And I feel bad.
I mean, I'll never complain about free food or free coffee. And, I do enjoy the nice perks of I could go to Joe and the Juice and not cry about a $12 smoothie. I am borderline tech trash. That's a new term I learned today.
Okay, absolutely then. Yeah, I do have an espresso. Yeah, I use a lot of DoorDash and Uber Everywhere, Lyft, and smart homes.
Living in San Francisco for so long has made me really conscious of the amount of conversations I was having that were centering around the work that I was doing. What I was doing outside of work was still related to tech. The things that I was wearing, I really didn't like that my identity was just so tightly coupled. I've definitely tried to make conscious effort to distance myself from that, diversify the things that I read, that I talk about, and that I wear. Reform tech trash. Hopefully, right? But I still think I'm borderline. I could slip back at any moment.
At the end of a long workday, what goes through your mind?
I just want to go home. I just want to turn off my laptop and go play with my plants.
Did I even make a step towards getting better at whatever I do today?
Every morning, I look at my calendar, and this is advice I got from a GM that I think is really good advice. She told me you should look at your schedule and pick out what kind of interactions you want today. What do you want to accomplish from those interactions? So I do that every morning. I'll write down just 3 people, and at the end, I'll look back at that list, and I'll be like, how did those things go?
I would never advocate for alcohol or unnecessary desserts, but sometimes a pint of ice cream and a glass of wine really do help you get through the workday. That and sleep.
What's your greatest pet peeve at the workplace? What annoys you the most?
Assholes and programmers. People who think they can be an ass just because, they think they're smarter.
Oh, yeah. when coworkers schedule time on their calendar with like zero agenda, zero heads up message.
Coworkers who talk over you at meetings or reiterate what you just said without fully listening to you.
People come in like just swinging, like when they're coming in hot, and I'm like, I don't even know you. Why on earth are you coming at me like this? Like, if you're trying to start something, you can, but just be assured I will end it.
People blockers, you know, they're those people who just automatically say no to your idea right from the start. They've already had it in their head that is not gonna benefit them in any way.
It drives me crazy when people are not accountable for their own role. I think it's fine if you need help, and I'm happy to help, but you need to at least admit like this is on you to do, and then you're asking me to help you do something.
Pointless meetings. Meetings that could have been an email. Meetings that I have no business being in and have nothing to contribute. Sort of that are there out of ritual.
People who can't take feedback, but then also give a lot of unsolicited feedback. Like, they'd love to give me real-time feedback, like 30 seconds after I said it, but like, I can't say things like, I would like it if you didn't give me feedback 30 seconds after I said it.
What's the ultimate dream 10 to 20 years down the line?
Having a fur baby and a kid of my own. My focus will go from like building my career to now supporting my family.
Well, I would like to have a vegetable garden. Be in a place where I can continually be stimulated and have a sense of community. At that point, have known many of my close friends for decades, and to have been able to look back and point at 40 years of happy experiences with them. I think it'd be cool to be a middle school teacher, to teach children and teach the next generation to critically think and to be better people.
So I would make a ton of money being a therapist to like the very rich, and then be able to spend the rest of my time helping people on a sliding scale, or people who don't have the ability to pay for therapists, primarily focused on Asian Americans and people and women of color. I would also have a thriving plant shop.
What's something you wish you knew when you first started working? What would you tell your younger new grad self?
Definitely that it's okay to ask questions. Even if they're stupid questions, ask them early, because there comes a point where it's too late to ask.
Your self-worth shouldn't be attributed towards like a specific title. Like, you shouldn't have to self-validate how much you're worth from others. Like, I think only you will know that.
Your ego, like, kill that real quick. Because if you don't, I promise you, someone else is gonna do it for you, and someone else did. Be a sponge. Be SpongeBob.
You don't owe a company anything. It's a corporate entity. A company is not your friend. A company is trying to reach a bottom line. You can make friends with your coworkers. I think that's awesome, and that creates a healthy work environment. But at the end of the day, if you need to part ways with a toxic company or a company that you're not invested in anymore, that's the beauty of at-will employment. There's nothing personal in business.
That your voice matters. Nobody knows what the hell they're talking about most of the time. Everyone is making up all day. Like, why is someone's that they made just because they're 3 years older than me, like, any better than the that I come up with because I'm new?
Not everything is like the hill that you need to die on. Like, sometimes it's better to let it go and like hold on to your social capital rather than like expend all of it at once.
Given the current state of affairs with politics, BLM, data privacy, media opinions on tech, how do you justify the work that you do for your company or industry?
I mean, I definitely chose the company that I'm working for, the education space. I chose them very consciously as a company that I believed was doing a lot of good from the outset. And specifically, the tools that I'm working on are helping teachers deliver lessons.
So I build products to help recruiters hire. Whatever we're building is helping reduce the unemployment rates.
Tech has issues around diversity, wealth inequality, and impact on its local community. Tech has had an undue influence in many ways on the political process in this country and others. One of the most meaningful things that I do in terms of my work is I lead efforts to represent an Asian voice. I work closely with the exec team to think about questions like, how can we become a more diverse community and represent a community that we actually serve, pushing this kind of discussion forward, because sometimes it's uncomfortable for people to have this at work. But I think, why be uncomfortable with reality?
What advice would you give new people joining the tech industry?
Yeah, like, don't try to be tech trash, and understand like your standard of living is elevated by the industry you're worked in. That doesn't mean that like you could turn into like a complete asshole. Tip your service workers, understand that not everyone is living the same lifestyle as you.
Be skeptical. Don't see your responsibility to society as just doing your fair share of the work. Try to push the boundaries of conversation around equity and around doing the most good for people who need the most help. You can quickly get lost into complacency.
Don't be intimidated. You're smarter than you think. You were hired because you have value. The learning curve is high, but you're going to figure it out quickly. You're meant to be here and you're important and you're gonna do a great job. So if you're not from tech and you're coming into tech, you deserve to be here. For new grads, I would say don't have an ego about work. Focus on learning skills. Don't focus too much on titles.
How would you describe to an outsider what the dating scene is like in tech?
Right.
I have one phrase for this. The odds are good, but the goods are odd.
The odds are good, but the goods are odd.
The odds are good, but the goods are odd.
Let me just put it this way. It's like, maybe it's like a supermarket. You walk into the supermarket and this supermarket is the Bay Area and it's tech. Maybe you're expecting an equal mix of peaches and eggplants, but all you see are eggplants everywhere. There's literally no peaches. And then you look at the other people who are in the store, and a lot of them have peaches and a lot of them have eggplants, but it's weird because you're like, what the hell? Where are all the peaches?
What advice would you give people from the tech industry who are trying to date?
Talk less to your computers and remember that there is a world outside of virtual reality. Also, chivalry, it's important.
Dating is really about learning about someone else and learning about who they are. So it requires a lot of shut the f up and learn about them. I'm serious. It's a lot about you're smart. You're gonna think about all these things on a date, logically, oh, these are my accomplishments. She's gonna like me, or I gotta show her I make this much money, so I'm gonna take her to this nice place and stuff. It's a person on the other side, and you just got to get to know them.
For men, try to become more emotionally aware, or show that they're emotionally aware, and show that they are mature adults, not just successful in the workplace, which I feel like most people in the Bay are very successful at work, but show that you have interests and hobbies and things outside of work that preferably aren't also coding related. I think for women, patience as you dig through the trash.
And that's a wrap. If you resonated with anything that was shared today and you want to hear some more, please like, comment, and subscribe. It encourages me to break out of my comfort zone and bring real stories of real people in my world to you. Check out my podcast, Happy Hour at Home. It's about me and my friends navigating adult life in the modern world. It's on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Please help rate it. Thank you for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.